Okay, so this is just a quick little rabbit hole I want to run down real quick about doing some cuneiform, whether it be dimensional analysis types of doing it, or the actual. Well, we could get into the your letters there as far as making them letters with the code that we're doing, but there's some structure involved with what it is and a bit of hieroglyphics, especially when you get down to old salty stick figure about what time frames you're looking at. When you're cuneiforming, old Babylonian or ancient Anunnaki or whatever it may be. But let's take that stick figure in terms of what that may represent in terms of the cultural model and when and how to read that at a point in time. Now, maybe the angle, I'm not, sometimes it kicks me with the drinking pot, like something like this will kick you off. Well, maybe, they're structuring, but you'd be able to see this a lot easier. They're talking about some well, the area that's in the safe garden of what they're doing inside of here by some standards, where reading this out is going to get a bit more tricky. What we know is a read. There's a read. Are we talking about the extension? Is that additional line something here? Are these numbers? In the binary parts of this language, there and other forms of it, the cuneiform system works again to how those codes may represent. And there you'll see things like cash, king, son, so they'll work like that in terms of the story narrative while you're writing it out, just much like the ASVAB, Alice and Bob, and setting out the math problem, changing Mowgli and Winnie the Pooh there into something that's more useful for the transistor, as it may be for alpha, beta, high and low, how that kind of does its circuitry for geometry, and sector analysis. I wouldn't be able to exactly pinpoint what they were reading out there. Often I just look at cuneiform and I see most of the dimensional analysis, maybe a story breakdown, because most stories have those breakdowns as well. But as far as which way the language is going, sometimes you got to be careful there with the way it's looking at you. So, go about it. What story narrative did you see here in the village, or what areas may correlate to how you might have to perceive that system inside of there? They're those types of just so we get something a little bit more systematic here, as you're putting that type of class thesis to some kind of time frame and how it affects what exactly. And it's probably some tablet where they are more relative to be in that form, and then a number would go with it, right? Star, sun, whatever it may be. But well, I can get over there and watch them get it going and seeing what they're counting and doing what they do. Um, but again, you'll get some sector analysis like this. That's kind of what they're doing. You would need a more comprehensive alphabet, aneurysm, every the language cultural models that would go into why that write out, or right hand rule would be gravity, right? We all got that kind of system at the time, but Stonehenge needs to be adjusted from time to time. You like 7? Keeping it moving here, just so we hit this again. It's more of a conversation about this part here. Just, hey, but Matthew, I know how it is on the farm. I've seen that happen a couple of times, and somebody become unmade. You ever see somebody get unmade? Now how do you write that in here with these symbols? Oh, there it was. It was raining that on the circle sun, and well, that's how that one goes. So that was kind of my note with why. Some people have, you're getting a hexagram, binary, and hexadecimal. This is useful for computer programming later. Like I said, those transistor bits are going to be. Come on. No, that's not what I wanted you to do. You're going to be back to doing some firewalls and circuitry programming. They'll do highs and lows, and you can do simple series. You can program this to change every letter. You can do it at sentences. You could do it, if there's a whole paragraph, you can do a lot of this for you, so it just automatically does it from that programming, that AI that kind of deals with what it is in there. And then, we might be able to tell you, hey, under that, you're doing Schrodinger's equation correctly, or, for what it is, it's still thesis A and B, there's some geometry. Now, once it gets started, the geometry is going to stay pretty well, but and you might even see some common things, but you'll start to slip out. If I figured out that the computer was doing something, the superposition of something like that to the computer's AI might miss it, just like NCIS missing something about the Zodiac, right? And maybe Sharps misses that one when I call the kid the Zodiac killer, and we all know Oxford numbers over there, kid. It's a totally different day. Hey, anyways,